We're going streaky! Yeah!
What is up, Streaker? It's your boy Mitz with another bonus episode. Today is actually real special. We're on location, finally, here at the BH14 facility. And I'm here with none other than Mr. Brian Hernandez, who is the founder, director, coach, instructor, mentor. What else can I call you, bro?
I think you covered it.
Yeah. A former professional player.
Washed up baseball player, yeah.
No. Brian Hernandez. So, Brian, thank you, man, for being a guest. Even though I feel like I'm the guest, right? I'm in your house. But I appreciate it, man, because this is a long time coming. We talked about it all the time. And we're here with your newly renovated facility here, which is fucking nice. It's beautiful, man. How it was before. I mean, even though it was nice before.
Yeah.
But you're truly building a state-of-the-art facility, right? I mean, shit, it's got speakers, surround sound. I mean, shit, it's got TV ready for hit tracks and shit. So
yeah,
it's good, man. It looks good. It looks really nice, man. I commend you on that. So when I have a guest, I always say, give me a quick timeline, okay? From your youth baseball days, what made you play baseball, and then up to what you got going on now. So,
cool.
By all means.
Well, Mitz, thanks for having me, man. It is a long time coming. We've been talking about it for a while, and kind of want to make sure that this place was finished up before we had you out here and did it right. Man, it's definitely my own little paradise back here now, man. My brother and I spent a lot of time back here. It was my idea, but I mean, Hugo made it happen.
Oh,
he
cool.
He put up all the stuff.
Family support is always the best.
I mean, that guy, he was out here day and night, man, doing his stuff. And so crazy grateful for that. And so thanks for having me. And so going a little bit of the background is we grew up here in Silmar. First sport was soccer, and then started playing Little League at Granada Hills. So played there for a few years, and then went over to North Valley. Played there for a couple years.
What made you go to play baseball in Granada?
Literally driving down Rinaldi one day. I saw the baseball fields, and I told my dad I want to play baseball.
Okay.
And he took me, and they never looked back.
So are you the first generation of ball players?
Baseball players. My dad played when he was younger, down in Mexico.
Okay.
He played with his friends and stuff, but never organized or nothing like that.
Okay.
So my brother and I joined, and we would play baseball and soccer for a while, and then baseball just took over, and we started doing it year round.
Okay.
Went over to North Valley, played pony for a couple years, and then went to Alamany. Played my freshman year was on JV, and then I played 3 years on varsity. Pitched a lot. I was a pitcher most of the time.
And not to cut you off, but why Alamany and not Silmar?
Pops and Mom weren't gonna let that happen. They worked really hard to make it happen, to get us to a little bit of what they thought was a better opportunity for us, and really it was a better school.
Right. Okay.
And so I went to Alamany for 4 years, and then didn't really get any love. I mean, I got some walk-on offers at SC and UCLA, but
But when you say you didn't get any love, but you of course had playing time, right? And you were a standout.
Oh
player?
yeah, I was playing sophomore year. I was starting on varsity, pitching, doing all that stuff, pitching in one day, playing third base the next day, hitting third, doing all that stuff.
Wow.
But I didn't get any love, what I thought I deserved, And
why do you think that was though?
We just didn't. We weren't going. I guess we weren't going to the right tournaments. We didn't know the recruiting process. We didn't know what it took, what it was like, what they were looking for, type thing. I guess.
To get recruited, the coaches could actually reach out, right?
Yeah.
Was that going on when you were in school or no?
You can't do that anymore.
Right.
But looking back, I don't think it was happening very much. We had, one of my best friends growing up, Angelo Sanko, he signed to LMU.
Okay.
But that was it. He was head above. He was really good, and he deserved to go there. So, but for some reason I was getting overlooked. Mm-hmm. Ended up going to Cal State LA my freshman year.
Okay.
Had a really good year. We were going through a transition where new coaching staff came in. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but luckily, man, Pat Shine came in, and Pat Shine and his staff came in, and he was the first one to believe in me, man. First one to really invest in me and challenge me further than I thought I could be challenged. He pushed me.
Yeah, because going through a coach's transition, that can go either way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And so he came in and he believed in me, man. And it was a blessing. He definitely was a big figure in my baseball career and life. And so that happened freshman of the year, All-American, all that stuff. coaching staff goes to Irvine, and I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I'm going to Irvine. Let's go. And Cal State LA is like, not so fast, man. You can go anywhere you want but Irvine. We won't give you a release if you go to Irvine. I'm like, well, sick.
Well, why? I mean,
they just didn't want it. They said, hey, you're our best player. You can't leave. Like, what are we going to do without you? And I'm like, that's not, I mean, it wasn't fair. We didn't know any better. And so
you could have fought that, right? If you wanted to, or
if I would have known the correct steps, yeah.
Right.
But I kind of gave up. Not gave up, but I said, you know what? I can go to junior college for a semester, then go back to Irvine.
Okay.
And so I went to COC and had a good year, conference player of the year, all that stuff. And then I said, all right, cool. Made sure I thought I had all my units set up and checked with Irvine, make sure we're all good. And I get to Irvine I get to campus and they're like, hey man, like you're missing 2 units.
Fuck.
Like you're a 4-2-4 guy, right? So if you're a 4-year school to a 2-year school to a 4-year school, you have to have your AA before you can play again. And I was 2 units short of my AA.
Wow.
And I'm like, I checked with you guys. I would have took summer classes. I would have done whatever I needed to do.
Right.
So we get there 2 weeks early and they go, hey, there's a Tallahassee Community College that has a self-paced course. Take this course, get a C- and you're good to go. But it was 20 weeks worth of work in 4 days. And I literally was locked in my room like doing this, and I'm like, oh my god. Ended up getting a D+. I'm like 3 points away from getting a C-. I'm like,
oh. But listen, but getting a D+ in 4 days.
Yeah,
that's still fucking,
Yeah.
But yeah, but I get it, right?
And so I ended up not being eligible. And now, looking back at my that redshirt year was a super tough year, but it was one of the best ones of my career. I learned a lot of things that I couldn't learn playing every day. Like picking signs, and picking up teammates, and then knowing situations, reading pitchers, picking up their tendencies, and doing all those things that I wouldn't have been able to learn if I was playing every day.
So now that you mentioned that, how hard was it having your teammates to buy into that? Like, if I'm a player, right, and if I'm playing and I see you're redshirt, and he's like, "What are you talking about? You're a redshirt, bro. Like what?" Or it wasn't like that.
No, you know what? It was one of the things where in the fall, it wasn't. We were still like fighting with the NCAA, so they were trying to make me play. They were trying to make me eligible. I think it was like not until like a month before the season that I was like, all right, bro, like you're not playing. So up until then, like in inter squads and stuff, I was hitting third. I was hitting third, playing third base. I was a part of the team.
Like
I was one of the guys already. You know? And so that happened, and I'm like, oh shit, man. Like I guess I'm not. And so it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was tough, and it took me a couple of days to like get my mind right. But that Irvine group, man, is. I mean, Ben Orloff is the head coach there now, but he was there. And the tone there is unbelievable. Like it wasn't like it didn't matter if you were the bullpen catcher. Like you were a guy.
You're the guy, okay.
And you were respected, and your opinion mattered, and
That's good.
And it's still that way.
Right.
And so it was really easy for me to be that guy. And like, hey man, I learned to be a hitting coach there. Hey, one of my good buddies now, Eric Derrigish, he works for Wilson. Helps me out with the uniforms.
Okay.
And which is another cool thing that all these connections you make throughout your whole years.
Yeah,
all your years, you make all these cool connections through baseball, and now he's hooking us up with the uniforms. And so just those things. That year was a really tough year. Redshirted. Ended up getting drafted that year. Not playing a game. Got drafted. They sent me to the Cape to play on the team that Buster Posey was converted to catcher on.
And you were playing what?
I was playing third base. In the mornings, I'd go do the catcher workouts, go grab lunch, and then play in the afternoon.
So why a catcher though? I mean,
they probably saw me run, bro.
Hold your arm.
I had a good arm.
Okay.
When I pitched my whole high school career. I had a good arm.
Right.
Not anymore. You guys see me throw now, probably say that guy didn't have no good arm. But I had a good arm, and we talked about it before. I would have been a good catcher. I would have been a great catcher.
Yeah, you mentioned that one time.
Not knowing that stuff, I wish I would have known back then. Those are the things that I'm grateful to be able to do for the younger kids now. Hey man, think about this, think about that. Man, don't come at me telling me you're gonna be a 6'6" kid. Oh, I want to play second base. Like, no, bro, you're gonna play third base.
So
first base.
So for example, my both of my boys have come here for catching lessons, right, with Adolfo.
Yeah.
Right, who's one of your instructors, right? And we'll talk about all the instructors. But when they wanted to convert my older boy, who's been a minute infielder his whole, I don't want to say baseball career, but coaching in high school, told him, hey, you know what? You need to start catching. And he don't want to buy into it. What do you tell a kid then?
I mean, versatility is huge.
Right.
I've seen your kid. The guy he catches it and gets rid of it so quick. Doesn't matter how hard you throw it. He's throwing it and putting it on dot. So I think that high school coach had pretty good.
Right.
reason for him.
But
to
you know, like if kids like doesn't want to catch or no, I'm a middle infielder. Like, what do you tell a kid? Like,
what happens
after
when
your experience?
Oh, 100%. I try and talk to him, especially. So that's one thing we do with our teams.
Okay.
Hey man, like what happens if you're the second best shortstop in the country and you go play on a team with the number one best shortstop in the country? What, are you not going to be able to play anywhere else?
Right.
What does it hurt if you can play second base? If you can play third base? If you can play left field? The more versatile you can be. Look at Kike. Look at all these guys that are playing all over the field now.
Yeah.
That are more valuable than ever. Like you have to be versatile. Like Bellinger's playing center field, playing first base. Like Gold Glove or both positions. Like it doesn't hurt you being able to be versatile like that.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So get there. Then I get drafted. And then I go finish my last 2 years at Irvine. Didn't get drafted my junior year. Got drafted after my senior year. Went to go play at. went to go play with the Angels. Got the AA with the Angels. Played there for 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Got AA. Never passed AA. Had some good numbers. Felt like I deserved to be higher, and I wasn't quiet about it. And I think that's what kind of didn't really give me the chance, I guess. But
invites to spring training or.
They would invite me to early camp with the minor leaguers and call me up every time. I would probably get called up 15, 20 times a year. And I'd just go be a jick, which is you go up to the games and the guys get their work in and you go in and get scraps, which is, I mean, I was fired up to do. I was ready to go.
Okay.
And so I never really got a chance in that sense. I mean, not saying that I should have. I didn't. And it wasn't in my cards. And so going to my last spring training, that's when the Mexico, the rules started to change, where as a Mexican American, you counted as a Mexican.
I see.
In the summer league. In the summer league, you counted as a Mexican. So there's only 6 non-Mexicans on each roster. So those are the imports, right?
Right.
Though the Mexican Americans, like players like me, my parents were born in Mexico, and I can get my dual citizenship. Man, they're like gold, man.
Yeah,
you got to import as a Mexican.
As a Mexican, right.
So there was a few teams reaching out and saying, "Hey, man, like if you get released or whatever, hit us up. Like we'll take you." So that's kind of what happened too. It was like, "Hey, man, the Angels said, hey, you want to go back to AA?" And I said, "Nope." Give me my release. I'm going down to Mexico and I want to make some money. And I was making way more money there than I was here.
Wow.
And so I took the opportunity, went down there, played 5 seasons down there, had a great time.
With who?
So I played my first year with Torreon, Laguna.
Okay.
In Coahuila, Mexico. And then I went in the winter ball, I played in Mazatlan.
Oh.
Which, unbelievable. And then the next summer I got traded to Cancun. So I was playing with the Tigres in the summer. So for 3 seasons, I would play in Cancun in summer.
Okay.
Come home for about a couple weeks, and then I go to Mazatlan.
Wow.
It was rough.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it was really rough.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was tough to play in that weather and the travel and all that stuff. It was tough, but I mean, it was paradise.
Right.
And so I was spoiled there. And then my last winter ball season, I got traded over to Mexicali, which was also a really, really cool experience because I have a ton of family from there. My dad's from there.
Oh, wow. So that was probably a proud moment for you.
Oh, man, it was really cool.
It
was really cool moment, and it was really cool to be able to do. I got an opportunity to play with them during my second winter ball. So in winter ball, when you get eliminated as a team, they get to pick a reinforcement. So like their first round, the losing team, so you lose, right? You think you're going home,
right?
But then they go, hey man, they tell like 3 or 4 of the best players on, or like say like the best available players to stick around because there's a reinforcement draft. So if teams have if there's 6 teams left, each team gets to pick 1 player to pick from the teams that lost. So they come and they're your ringer. They're your guest player for the next round.
Okay.
So the Mexicali picked me.
Wow.
And I went and I tried to do way too much.
Right.
And I was absolutely terrible. I made 3 like huge errors. It was like 1 for 12.
You were exhausted by that point, or
no? I just tried to do too much. I tried to show up and be the guy when I didn't need to be the guy. I just need to show up and be myself.
Wow.
And it was a huge. Dude. I was getting death threats. It was, dude. We landed in the airport. And I'm like head on the swivel, like fuck. I'm about to.
Fuck.
Bro, it was serious shit. And it was like, I don't blame them.
Right.
I sucked. So.
Wow.
So then I got a chance to redeem myself in Mexicali, and it was really cool.
Okay.
Had a great experience, and it's fucking cold. We're there in December, and it's like 10 degrees.
And Mexicali cold? Because I heard of Mexicali.
Bro, it's freezing.
Hot. Okay.
It's freezing. And then if you're not within one of the first 3 guys to take a shower, you get no hot water.
No water, yeah. Okay.
So by the end of the season, bro, I was showering at the hotel. I'll tell you that. I was put my clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm showering at the hotel.
Yeah.
But great time. I loved it. So then Mexicali, that came, and then I got married that off season, that February leap day.
Okay.
and married. That was gonna be my last year.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was gonna come to. She was gonna sacrifice herself and come to Cancun with me for a season.
Shit. You gotta make sacrifices. Right?
And so, but then we're coming back from our honeymoon in South Africa, and they're like, "Hey, bro, stay home. We're not gonna start the season yet. COVID." And we're like, "Oh
shit.
man!" And so that happens, and so that season gets canceled. Winter ball goes on, and by that time, winter ball, they're like, "Hey, man, we'll give you 3/4 of your salary."
Okay.
And I'm like, I think about it, and I'm like, you know what?
No.
Nah, I'm good. And it really was like they were doing a shorter season. So in baseball for Mexico, you only get paid the games you play. So if you play for a month and a half, you get paid for a month and a half. So if it's usually a 2.5 month season. So they're paying you three. So for instance, if you're making 20 grand a month,
Right.
you only get paid 20 grand for that month, and then half of the next month. So you're making 30 grand in the season. As opposed to if you're making 20 grand and there's 3 months in the season, you're making 60 grand. So they tell you you're making 3/4 of it, but you're really making a quarter, 1/3 of what you're making. That's how they try and pull it over on you.
Yeah.
That's not, the numbers don't work out.
Wow.
Same thing happened. So then in the winter and then summer, they're like, all right, cool, everything's back to normal. We're good to go. Full season. I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the GM. Talk to the Tigres. Hey man, you're good to go. Everything's good. Your salary's staying the same. Don't worry about it. Hotel, all your perks it's set.
Okay.
2 weeks before we go, they're like, hey man, we gotta talk. It's like, hey, we got half your salary. Y si quieres. Like
Why?
that.
But why?
Supposedly they has no money, and I'm like, oh, but for me, they're just trying to take advantage of the.
Was this were Tigres owned by Fernando Valenzuela back then or no?
Yep.
Or
And that was with the
current ownership.
the current ownership, and it was. I mean, it was.
I already said his name, but everybody knows.
Yeah, and it wasn't with Fernando. It was with the son, but it wasn't. I don't know, man. It wasn't. It left a really sour taste in my mouth because it was. I loved it. I loved playing there. I loved being a part of the team. I loved being a leader on that team.
Right.
I felt like I was a pretty big part of the organization, and I wasn't treated like it. I wasn't given the respect that I felt like I deserved.
Okay.
And so it was really a shitty way to go out. But I mean, by that point, it was COVID. I wasn't going to sit here and do nothing. I started doing I started doing lessons. I got my contractor's license. I wasn't just going to sit around and wait for them. So by the time they offered me that contract, I was making more money.
Wow.
So I'm like, why would I leave? And
Right.
after that, especially with that, what I felt was disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
So hung him up and started doing this stuff.
Okay.
And now we're here.
So, but I mean, I know you did it out of, of course, like, and by all means, I understand, for his income, right? But when was it that you can say, oh, you know what, I can instruct these kids. I have the patience. I have the talent, because you need talent to instruct kids.
Oh.
So when did you feel like, hey, you know what, I can start coaching kids? I mean, I can start instructing these kids. Like when was it that you said, I can do this for a living? Or
fairly early on, man. It was one of those things where I'm just starting. It was an idea to start, and then I started doing it. Now, man, like I love this. This is my shit. Like
right.
I love I relate well to the kids.
Right.
Whether they're young, whether they're 7, 8, 9, 10, or they're high school kids, even college kids. Like, man, I can relate to these kids, and I can teach them, and I can convey my passion and just push them along. And I love doing it. And so, and I get paid doing it. Like I loved it.
Right.
And I still do. And so, early on, I realized I was like, this is it, man.
Yeah.
This is it. And I could still be around the game without playing. Like that's, to me, is huge. We talked about it, man. If I didn't have this, if I didn't have the BH14 stuff and the boys out here, and I'd go crazy.
Do you ever think about going being a career coach, like for a D1 school or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I would like college for sure would be an option.
Okay.
I've had a couple offers to coach in high school and college. It hasn't been a right fit yet.
Right.
Maybe someday.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't think I'd be a pro guy.
Okay.
Just because
the way it's going now, or what?
The way it's going, man. It's tough, man. It's tough.
They're making it tougher, right? They're making it tougher.
So I'd be interested, maybe junior college or college, or maybe like a high level high school team too.
Okay. And then to instruct here in the Valley. Why here in the Valley though?
This is home. There's nowhere else I'd rather coach. There's nowhere else I'd rather convey the passion, pass along the knowledge. Because we talk about it all the time. It's like, man, I wish I would have heard this as a kid. Like,
yeah,
like all just like even just being introduced to topics like,
Yeah.
hey man, what pitch are you looking for in a certain count? Like, what's he throwing? What's his pattern? Why would you look? Why are you sitting off speed? Or why, like those things like that. If we would have heard that at a younger age, like it just gets your baseball
IQ going.
At a very early age, and that's what we try and do.
Yeah, because I mean, me as a kid, just like, you just gotta throw the ball hard.
That's it. And
throw
just
the ball hard.
throw the ball hard, and
You didn't worry about what was he doing the previous at bat,
no,
or
nothing.
where's he hitting it?
Nothing. You didn't worry about it. We didn't even think about that stuff, you know. And so
yeah.
that's why I'm doing. I love it, man. The Valley, the Zomar for me is like being able to do that here is really, really cool.
That's good, man. That's good. So let's talk a little bit about BH14. You started as as just a lesson, right? Instructing. Now you got teams under your belt, right? How many divisions? How many? So
this year we got 9s, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we have the 16-year-old group that we talk about. Adolfo pretty much runs that group. Adolfo and Anthony run that group. They do a great job with it.
Yes, my boy. My 14-year-old, actually, you gave my boy a 14-year-old to play with the 16-year-old, which I thought was the greatest thing ever. My boy was exposed to, like, more advanced baseball, getting ready for high school. Even though he was playing that year in high school, he fucking learned much, like, 2 times more. Yeah.
But he was locked in, man. He was locked in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, yeah. So you got your 16-year-olds.
And then we do that. So we have the 9s to the 12s. I mean, it grew fast. We started last year with one team.
Okay.
And then we kind of ran into Oscar over in North Valley. We picked up I started doing the Legends team, which is a really good group.
Yes.
And so now we're at 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wow.
We run most of our stuff out of North Valley, and then we do stuff here at the cages Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
But man, I love it. Being able to teach the game, and not just, the lessons are awesome. They're cool. Right. But it's more like one-on-one, like hey, mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like the teams, like we're talking winning. We're talking about picking up patterns. We're talking about competing. We're talking about how to go out there with not your best stuff and still be able to get outs. We're talking about things like that where it's like, hey man, that's what's going to help them in high school. That's going to help them next level.
Where do you have more effect, with the one-on-one, or like as a team, teaching the team how to interact with one another?
I couldn't answer that. I think both of them are just as important.
Okay.
There's obviously some kids that you break through one-on-one. They're different type of players, right? So there's ones where you really have to focus. Hey man, like this is when you step in the box, you really got to focus on this stuff. Where it's like, hey, he focuses more mechanically at the plate, or there's the other kid who goes up there and he's like, I got to help the team win,
right?
And like that's where you find out what kind of player you got, and you got to kind of work with them individually.
Got you. So why future? When I see the name of the jersey here,
because it's not about now. Let's develop them. We're not going to worry about winning a plastic trophy.
Right.
I've talked to all our coaches. We talk about it all the time. We had a meeting last night. We're not going to bury a kid. We're not going to throw a kid back-to-back days, 75 pitches to win a trophy that nobody cares about.
So how was that for you coming into the travel ball world?
It's different. It's all Adolfo's fault.
He got you in it, huh?
He got me in it, and now I'm stuck. No, I'm not. Okay. I love it, but it was definitely different. The boys, man, the kids are awesome.
Okay.
There's a lot, there's a lot to go into it. There's kids, there's travel, there's the parents. There's some of the parents, man, they mean well. They want the best for their kids, but we have to, just like we're preparing these boys for high school, we're preparing the parents, because we have to teach them to understand that at high school level, a lot of high school levels, you can't go out. You're not gonna be able to talk to them during the game. No. You're not gonna be able to coach them during the game.
You're not, yeah.
Or ask the coach why he's not playing and doing all those things. So we're trying to instill that at a very early age and help the parents as much as we're helping the kids.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So, one thing I'm gonna ask is, and I always ask the guests, right? And you probably already mentioned it earlier, but what do you regret out of your whole baseball career up until now? What is it that you regret?
Not signing as a catcher. When I got drafted by the Indians after my redshirt year, they drafted me as a catcher, man, and I was like, dude, I don't want to catch. I don't want to be a catcher. And so I should have. Looking back, we talked about it. Looking back, man, I wish I would have signed. I think I would have been a really good catcher and really had a different path for my career.
Okay.
But you never know.
Yeah. So if you have a kid that comes up to you like, hey, Brian, Coach Brian, I don't want to catch, or I don't want to play the outfield, or I don't think I'll be good in the outfield.
I mean, it depends. Obviously, it depends on their age too. Like their 10-year-old telling me that, it's like, man, you got 5-6 years before high school before you even know what position you're gonna play.
Okay.
You got to be able to be versatile. You got to be able to play all over the field.
Right.
There's no reason for you not to play all over the place. Look at like we talked about. Look at Kike. Look at Bellinger. Look at those guys. Those guys are crazy valuable because they're able to play all over the field and play multiple positions. You know?
Right.
You want to be versatile. You have to be. You know,
that's cool. That's good. And what is the best? What is the proudest moment of you?
There's a few of them, man. There's some really cool moments. One of them was in high school. It was in college. So I pitched my whole high school career. Didn't really pitch. I didn't pitch in college at all. My 5th year, our Friday night guy gets hurt at Irvine. They make our Sunday guy. No, they make our closer the Friday guy.
The Friday guy, okay.
And Mike Gillespie, who saw me, he recruited me to walk on at USC. He goes, "Hey man, come throw a bullpen." This is 2 weeks before the season.
Okay.
He's like, "Come throw a bullpen for me." What do you mean? He's like, "Just come throw a bullpen." So I throw a bullpen, 15 pitches, all fastballs. He goes, "All right, you're the closer." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm a closer, man? I haven't pitched in 5 years." He's like, "It doesn't matter, man. You're my best competitor.
Okay.
You don't care. You're going to go out there. You're going to compete. You're going to throw strikes." And he said that. I'm like, "Yeah, all right, let's roll. Let's do it." So I did. And first weekend, we played Nevada Reno. My brother was there. My younger brother was at University of Nevada Reno.
Wow.
So we had a really good team. We were number one in the country for a few weeks. So we had a really good team. Blew them out Friday. Blew them out Saturday. But coach goes, "Hey, man, you're pitching tomorrow. I want you to get some work in. You're going to pitch no matter what." So bottom of the 8th, he goes, "Hey, man, go warm up. You're not coming in right away. You're facing the second hitter." I'm like, "Man, give me a fresh inning. It's my first inning in collegiate baseball. Can I get a fresh inning?" He goes,
Right.
"Nope. Go look at who you're facing." And it was my little brother, man.
Wow.
Like, it was crazy. Like, we had 50, 60 people there going crazy, and it was nuts. So he goes, "Hey, you're coming in." So he literally made a pitching change, brings me out, and all I hear is my dad, "Oh my God, please don't do this to me." And so it was funny because after Friday night and Saturday, we go to dinner, talking to my brother. I'm like, "Hey, man, I face you. I'm coming after you.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna throw a curveball. Be ready to hit. I'm throwing fastballs."
Okay.
And so I threw, but I'm not gonna throw him a cookie either. You know?
No, of course not. Right.
So
What was your catcher asking for? What were they asking?
They knew. They all knew. They were all rooting for him because he would come and hang out with us at Irvine. He'd come party with us, and we're winning by like 10 runs. So they're all like, "Come on, Hugo, let's go."
So there's no you're fucking shaking.
No, he's like, "Come on, let's go get a hit off your brother. Fuck that guy." Like, they're like rooting for him, you know.
Wow.
And so I go first pitch fastball, and I threw it as hard as I could. So it was like eye high. It was like at his face, and popped it up to the catcher. I'm like, "Oh man!" But it's really cool looking back, man. It's not many people can say they face a little brother playing high school, collegiate baseball,
and then having your family there.
Having a family there, it was really, really cool. A bunch of cool moments. Obviously, there's like the big hits, there's the walk offs, there's all that stuff, but stuff like that really sticks.
How was
with
the conversation after though?
I kept it short. I don't want to rub it in his face too much.
Okay.
Now, as we get older, we talk a little more smack about it. Like, come on, man, you can at least wait a couple pitches,
right?
Make it not so
but
easy.
he probably, he was probably on the same page, right? This fucker's gonna hit right
yeah, he was hyped, man. He's a good hitter too, so it was fun, man.
That's good, man. That's a good experience, man. Yeah. So I know we talked about before, and you mentioned the story of Chris Taylor.
Oh God, Chris Taylor. I love him and I hate him at the same time.
Okay.
He's a great player. We talk about versatility, man. That guy plays all over the field.
Yes.
He's a Gold Glover all over the place.
Right.
It's he's got some decent power. He plays all over. So, but we're at my senior year. We were at University of Virginia. First of all, my senior year we got paired up with UCLA with Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole.
Wow.
I don't know how we won that regional.
Okay.
Scrappy Irvine is what we did.
Yeah.
We won. We beat them. On game 1, we won.
And I want to talk about that too. Irvine, like you guys came out of fucking nowhere, right? Nobody knew where Irvine was or something like that.
No, my run there, we were pretty good, man. We were on the map.
But before that,
no, we scrapped.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty
like
nationally recognized.
Anteater, like what the fuck is an anteater?
Yeah, exactly. Now they know what an anteater is.
Of course. Yeah. But yeah, like you basically put like Irvine on the map.
Yeah, Irvine. Well, they had a couple years earlier, like a few years before that, playing the World Series, and they had some good teams, man.
Okay.
And so, but that year we won. We beat Bauer and Cole, obviously the rest of the UCLA team, but
wow,
we beat them to go, and then we went to University of Virginia, the number 1 national seed. They had Denny Holtzen, Aaron Hicks, all those guys, and they had Chris Taylor.
Okay.
So we lose game 1, win game 2, smashing. We're like. I think it's like 7th inning or something, and we go into like an hour and a half rain delay.
Wow.
We're up by like a run. We're like, dude, just call it.
Well,
like,
because
how long are we gonna wait? Just bang
Virginia
it.
can rain like whenever, right? Like,
yeah, we're like, dude, just bang it. It's over. Like that's it. Like what are we waiting for? And sure enough, waited long enough. Rain delay's over. Come back. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 9th. Nobody on. Bases loaded. Bases empty. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Base hit up the middle. Runner on first base. Base hit up the middle. First and second. I'm like, Jesus. Here we go. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Ground ball up the middle. Off the pitcher's foot. Goes to third base side. I'm on my heels. I see it. I go get it. Bang, bang at first. Safe. And I'm like, God damn it. Mike Gillespie forever told me, Brian, ground ball up the middle. You have nowhere to be. Run to the pitcher. Ball's going to ricochet.
Was that the first time you were hearing that?
No, he told me that all the time.
I don't know, but before, like...
No, he was the only one that ever told me that. And even to this day, I don't hear anybody talk about it.
Exactly.
Nobody talks about it. But it makes so much sense. Like, as a third baseman, I have nowhere else to be but run towards the pitcher.
Even with a runner on first and second?
Yeah.
Or bases loaded? Or
yeah,
whatever?
but it's like, okay, if the balls hit up the middle, like, nobody's going to make a play on it. Like a hard hit, low ground ball. Who's going to make that play and throw it third base?
I see. You're right.
You know what I mean? So, like, even if it's just your first reaction is there, you see it hit him. By the time it hits him, you're already there. You're on the way.
Got you.
And so, now it's ingrained in my head. It's like, dude, if I would have broke there, he would have been out. You know? That old man told me that over and over and over again. And I didn't
but you're not looking at it like that was your fault, right?
100%.
Come on, man.
I should have made that play. And, like, but we didn't lose the game because of money, but, like, that play I should have made. And I almost made it. And it would have been epic. Imagine ESPN all over the place.
But so, because you made the throw first.
He was safe, barely.
So you say if you would have broke...
If I would have been anticipating that play, like I
broke towards the pitcher.
Instructed to for 2 years, I would have made that play. Anyway, so then we have a mound visit. Pitcher, we look at him and like, hey, man, I've been your closer all fucking year. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in the moment, I'm like telling him this shit. And then I walk, and like later on, a couple of years, I'm like, it's a Hall of Fame college coach. And that's how I literally word for word, I said, give me the fucking ball.
And what do you say?
I'm talking to this guy.
And what did he tell you then?
He's like, no. And he like really couldn't like, he's like, no, we're going to stick with this guy. But he was like, almost like, he knew that I didn't mean disrespect by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? He knew that we were a competitor. We both had that mutual respect where it was like, it was game time. He was the same dude. Off the field, that guy was a grandpa.
Okay.
He had the coolest stories, the coolest like wisdom.
Right.
In game, that guy was a motherfucker. Like, dude.
Yeah.
And I now looking, there was moments I hated him, but looking back now, I'm crazy grateful that I played for him, just because like, dude, there's no situation I'm not prepared for now.
Do you use any of his?
It's almost all I use. Him, Gillespie, and Pat Shine, the mentality stuff, like all these great coaches and even not so great coaches that I had throughout my career, like I've used them and kind of meshed into my coaching mentality and personality and all that stuff. So like, yeah, with every coach, but Gillespie and Shine definitely molded my coaching.
I hadn't had that impact on you.
So then next pitch, Chris Taylor's walking out, bases loaded, 2 outs. I'm like,
and this is CT3, right?
CT3. CT motherfucking 3, let me tell you. Base hit up the middle. So it's strike 1, strike 2, 0-2. Like, I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 foul balls. I'm like, God damn it. Come on, man. Base hit, like 28 hopper up the middle. Game over. Oh, my God. God. We're all walking out the field like, man, we're about to go to the World Series. Or the season's over. College career's over. I love college baseball, man. There's nothing like it. You're playing to win. You're playing for your teammates.
But how tough is it though? Like as far as school wise and
traveling? Oh, dude, it's intense. It's intense. It's 6 a.m. workouts. It's studying on the road. It's tests at the airports. Dude, it's hard. It's not easy, and everybody's not a school where they're gonna help. Like they're not gonna help the athletes.
No, yeah.
It's a school where it's a tough school. You better get your work done. They don't care if you play sports. They don't even know if you have a baseball team. Our school doesn't care about baseball. Like the academic side.
Okay.
They're not going to cater to the players and stuff like that.
Right.
And so, dude, it's hard. Kids, I don't think they understand how hard it really is. Like they understand that they think they know it's hard, but they don't understand what it really takes.
Right. Like people just tell me it's hard, but they haven't never experienced it.
And it's like I try to tell them, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. What do you mean you're tired, man? I had practice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have practice. You're gonna have weights. You're gonna have extra work. And you have to be able to like push past that, because bro, like if you don't, somebody else will.
So if your kid doesn't like homework,
good luck. I mean, and they can learn. Like, I mean, there's help. Don't get me wrong. There's help. There's tutoring. There's people that'll help you. And
okay, now you bring up tutoring, right? I mean, I don't know. This is just for me, like the way I was growing up, and maybe the way you're growing up too. Tutoring, really? Like,
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah.
You
Why?
know,
I
we
mean,
could ask
like,
the teacher, you know, but
we have so much pride for tutoring, right? Like,
Yeah.
Tutoring is for the fucking.
Los pendejitos.
Yeah, right.
But it's not. It's hard nowadays, man. That we have all the resources nowadays, man. I don't want to like beat it in the ground like, oh, we used to walk 15 miles
In the snow.
in
and all
the
that, but
snow
yeah,
barefoot. But like, man, a kid wants to work out, YouTube it. You want to get faster? YouTube some drills. You want to get stronger? YouTube some shit.
Yeah.
Go on TikTok.
There's more access to.
There's more
information.
resources, and it's
Right.
so like, and they, I mean, it's like, I get it. There's like there's distractions and stuff like that. But if it's something you really want to do, man, there's no reason why not to dive deep, man. Go
Gotcha.
look, go do your research. You know.
So what do you recommend? Like, you know, because so that the kid get a full experience before they go into college and to get a taste of how hard it is. What do you recommend a kid do?
I don't think there's a like perfect thing, but they have to be exposed to the workload, I think. As far as like, hey, if you have to like, there's a lot of parents now, they're doing it young. Like, hey man, all right, we got practice Tuesday, Thursday. He's got his private lessons on Mondays. He goes to the gym on Wednesday, Friday, and he's got to do his homework. And it's like, dude, that to me, that's how you prepare your kids. And like, they're going to go into it like with the head start.
So like, for example, my 11-year-old, which you know very well, he's in a trial program right now. They're practicing twice a week, right? His grades fell. Okay, we found out he wasn't doing his homework, and nowadays with LUSD has Schoology.
Yeah.
I can like literally log into an account and see what he has for homework and what he's missing at school. Our parents didn't have that back then, right?
No.
So now, before practice, when I pick him up from school, he's changing in the car, and we're at the field 2 hours before the practice starts, and he's doing his homework in the car.
That's perfect.
And that's because that's the kind of thing that you're going to be experiencing as a college kid, right?
100%. And like, but I think that you're doing that to instill that school does come first.
Right.
You want to play college baseball, you better have good grades. Simple as that. You can't play college baseball being a 2.0 student.
And there's no like, oh, well, you can go see this teacher and fucking they'll hook you up with the college.
No, you can't do that. You can't. It's not how it works anymore. I mean, maybe for big time football schools, but not for baseball, man.
Right.
And I think it's really good that we have to instill in these kids that baseball is a lot, but you have to be a student first, and you have to get good grades, and you have to be able, even just to get into schools or get offered scholarships and stuff like that. You can't just be a 2.5 student. You got to be
right. Then that's another thing.
You got to be 3.5. You got to get that 2.8. You got to push.
Honors
You got to do it. You got to do it. You have to do all those things because it's what separates you from the rest.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what we try and instill these in our boys too. It's like, hey man, we got to be good human beings, be good teachers, and be good students, and get good grades, and be a good teammate, and do all those things because baseball might be everything right now, but it's not going to be forever.
Right. Oh, that's good, man. Yeah. So is there anything you wanna like talk about, or anything that you want to bring to the table here? You know, I mean,
one of the big topics. Yeah, one of the big ones that I want to talk about was so we talk about how hard it is for like the Valley kids and people who want to play baseball and understand there's a big commitment, not only time wise but financially. So one of the big projects I got going on now is a nonprofit organization that I started. It's called San Fernando Valley Prospect Foundation.
Okay, which is
back there, but that's what it's tailored for. We're looking to scholarship players to be able to help them go to those big time tournaments, go to Florida, go to Arizona, go to Vegas, you know, and help them.
When you say Valley kids, right? But I mean, there's Valley kids, right, that have all that, right?
That can afford it, but there's Valley kids that can't. It's expensive.
It is.
Going to the, I mean, you know what? Yeah. I mean, $1,500, $2,000 to go to one of those tournaments.
Yes.
It's hard, and those are the tournaments that we have to go to now to get our kids exposure. You know, and so that's the goal with that foundation is to raise that so they can have the right equipment, the right training, be able to go to those tournaments. And so we're just starting out. We're doing a bunch of fundraisers and honestly just doing camps. I'm looking to we're probably gonna do 3 or 4 different camps this winter. Okay. The local parks. We're gonna go to the parks. We're gonna go and teach these boys about the game. And take equipment and just kind of give back. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. And it's now we're in a position where we can kind of do that in the sense of like, hey, let's gather, let's go around. I mean, there's people that made it from the Valley that can give back and do that. And so,
but then there's a lot of kids that are from the Valley that can't get those opportunities.
Yeah. So we're looking to do that, man. That's huge.
That is huge, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I don't know if you listen to the episodes or not, but I mean, I had 4 episodes dedicated on our college checklist.
Yep, it's
You know?
huge.
You know, and like, but I didn't have that college checklist back then and shit like that, because a lot of these kids don't know. A lot of these kids, and I'm gonna say it, minorities.
Yeah.
You know, from the valley,
Yeah.
or low income families and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. They don't have the opportunities because nobody wants to invest in those kids.
100%.
You know, so that's a good thing that you're doing.
No, and it's like even talking about college, man. Like looking back, like I was a sociology major. Like, why was I a sociology major? Why? Because it was the easiest major, and I could play baseball. And it's like I was at UC Irvine, one of the best engineering schools in the country.
Damn.
And I wanted to play baseball, which is, I mean, it is what it's
right.
Why didn't I just challenge myself and get an engineering degree?
So not just challenge yourself on the baseball field,
but like, I'm already there, you know. But if I would have had the guidance to, like, I shouldn't say I didn't have the guidance, but like, you know, like, hey, think about, maybe I would have made a different decision. And
no,
like,
it's guidance, because somebody has to introduce you to
yeah,
that.
and been there, done that. And so like, that's what one thing I'm really excited about being able to do is like, hey, man, like, get those grades up and think about doing this and think about doing that, and maybe you shouldn't go to that showcase, and maybe you should go to this one, and you know, and make phone calls for those boys.
Right.
You know, there's this. One of the cool things about playing is, for as long as I did, is I have a lot of people that I played with that are all over the baseball world now. You know, there's college coaches, there's guys working at Wilson. My buddy Eric Derrick helps us with the uniforms.
Okay.
There's people all over that we can kind of make a phone call to, and it's not even
with the instructors you have now. I mean, you have an ex.
We have, dude, talk about
major.
Miguel Gonzalez,
Exactly.
Rafa
Right.
Martin, Jason Bourgeois comes out. It's, dude, to me, I'm in awe. When these guys are out here listening, like, I'm like, dude, like, I hope they know how lucky they are to be able to hear Miguel Gonzalez talk about how to throw a cutter.
I played ball with Miguel in high school, right? I mean, he was a freshman, I was a senior, but I mean, just being able to know somebody that went to the same high school as you. I mean, his parents, your parents, and my parents, we all had the same upbringing. We all had the same values, the same morals, brought up the same way, and for someone to make it like that,
dude.
And then for, like as yourself, someone to make it, to that level too, and you're just giving back.
Yep.
I mean, you have a facility here, and let's be real. You're doing it as a business, right? But you got to make your money somehow, right?
Yep.
But you're still giving back.
Yep.
Just giving the opportunity for these kids to come and get these lessons is giving back.
Yep.
So I commend you on that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're like, and like you said, they got to know how lucky they fucking have it,
dude.
bro.
I'm sitting here listening to them, like, I'm like, Miguel Gonzalez, like, the Yankee killer himself.
Yes.
Like, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, like, who?
Yes.
Like, I wish. And so, like, just being around those guys is really, really special to me. Like, having Rafa Martin come out and, bro, his story.
Right.
Like, just talk about a grinder. Like, talk about, like, a great human being, and like Jason Bourgeois, played with them in Mexico, and just being able to play with those guys and having them come out and teach these boys, and it's really cool to be able to do. I love it. It doesn't feel like work to me.
No, of course not. So, what instructors do you have right now? They have working for you right now, or not working for, but
so here at the facility we have Miguel Gonzalez on Mondays and Wednesday nights.
Okay.
He does pitching stuff with more of the older boys.
Okay.
And then on Fridays we have Rafa Martin comes, and he works with all ages, but he's really good, really connects well with the younger kids, kind of more the fundamental stuff, and connects with them like more on like a mental level, like more of like, he's awesome dude. Okay. And then Adolfo Cervantes does catching stuff.
Oh man, he works really well.
He works really good with them, and they get their butt kicked, man. They're get out of here. They got a good workout.
Yeah, my kids are fucking going home like if they rode a horse all day.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And then we got my brother who played at Nevada Reno, really good hitter himself.
Okay.
He's giving hitting lessons as well. So we got a bunch, and like little by little we're gonna continue to do more. Like starting next week on Mondays, we have a beginners fundamental camp where it's gonna be just talking about literally fundamentals,
right?
Like the stance,
glove
how to catch it, glove on the ground, butt down, chest up, like get your elbow up, all those things we'll talk about. And as we go, it's a 6-week camp, so we'll talk about gradually progressing and kind of get more and more into it. And then Wednesday nights I'm gonna do like advanced hitters camp, where it's gonna be fundamentals, yes, but more of the mental side, what to look for, what pitches are you hunting for, situations, and all those things, where it's like not just about mechanics.
So let's get into hitting, right? I mean, because you're the hitting guru. What if I like my kid? Let's use my kid for example, right? Lefty hitter, right? Yeah. He's a contact hitter. I would say he's a contact hitter, not for power.
Yeah.
But when you saw him, what did you see in the beginning? Like, because he wasn't really. I don't know, like extending, or he was.
Yeah,
like,
he
those
was.
clean
I mean,
hits?
yeah, he was kind of in between. He looked like he was trying to lift the ball when he wasn't supposed to be. He's supposed to be a guy that's in line, like you said, contact hitter. He's supposed to be low line drive, stay in his legs, and drive through the baseball. And he's definitely gotten better with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one of those things where it's like not everybody's we're not cookie cutters. We don't have. Look at your boys; they're two different swings.
Yes.
And so I can't go and talk to them the same way. Like, hey man, you have to do this, and nobody's the same. Like I'm more old school in the way, like I'm not gonna have all the gimmicks. I'm not gonna have all the I'm not gonna do all that.
Not gonna
stuff.
have the fucking beach ball.
No, I'm not. I didn't do that. That's not work for me, so I can't teach that. You know what I mean? So like, for me, it's line drives, gap to gap, stay inside the baseball, all the stuff that got me to be the hitter that I was. Is that's what I'm gonna try and teach. And so it's not so much about launch angle, and I just want them to be good hitters and that drive the baseball and understand what to do in situations.
My kid's not hitting over the fence. What are you gonna do about that?
Keep working, get stronger, get in the weight room.
Okay.
We have to.
What if the kid is not meant to fucking hit over the,
Yeah, exactly. There's not everybody's gonna be Aaron Judge.
Right.
Not everybody's gonna be Mike Stanton. They're not gonna be. Like, we have to get them to be line drive guys. If he's catching, he's gonna be a good catcher. He's a good catcher. He's good behind the plate. Cool. Come up here, hit doubles for me.
Right.
Right. You got to know what kind of player you're gonna be.
Right.
Not to say that he can't turn into a guy that hits home runs.
Okay.
Like Yadi Molina early in his career wasn't hitting home runs. 34, 35, he started hitting home runs. Sometimes it takes that long how to figure it out.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. So let's talk about the facility here. What is different from when I was before?
So dude, we revamped. We did all new turf. So before it was just that back tunnel that way.
I remember that. Yeah.
All this was open, so we could do like ground balls and stuff and play catch and all that stuff. But we couldn't use this as an actual cage. And now what we did, well, I didn't do it. My brother did. But, we covered this whole cage. Okay. So now it's all covered. So right now it's pulled back and it could be, it's a, what is it, like 55 by 70 foot area just open. So we can pull it back, hit ground balls. We can do live BP.
Wow.
We can see the light up. When there's no lesson here, it's all what it's a big cage. It was wide open. You see the flight of the ball. But when we have teams in here or lessons in here, this turns into 3 tunnels. So we can have 3 stations going in here. We can have a station going back there. We have some pitching mounds going.
Right.
So man, it's Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We have the teams in here, man. We have 30, 35 kids in here, and it's high intensity. It's high energy. It's a lot of things going on. Kids are getting their work in, paying attention to detail. We got the music going.
I see that. Yeah. Man, you got the when I pulled up here, you had the game on. I'm like, damn, he has 4 speakers going on right here.
Yeah,
man. So
that's a cool one. That's a big reason why we wanted to get the TV in here is for this playoff games.
Yes,
like these kids watching these games is huge for them. Like they can learn. So like, and I want to watch them too. But we can watch the games and break it down with them and talk about it. Hey, why do you do this? And look at that play. Like that third baseman just made that error, and next guy just hit a grand slam. How do you think he feels for making that error?
Do you have video analysis for the kids too? Or
not
yet? Okay.
Little by little. I want to get there. We'll get there.
Okay,
we'll get there. A couple fundraisers away.
All right.
But we got to get there. I would definitely want to get there when we have hit tracks and video analysis and doing all that stuff. But little by little. And so so that's what we got going on. We got lights. We're out here all night. We got some coverage for the sun.
It's perfect. I mean, we're recording right now at fucking almost 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I mean, but damn, I want to fucking hit right now.
Yeah, this is my sanctuary, man. I love it back here. I spend a lot of time back here, and I love it. Crazy blessed.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be married if I had something like this right here, man.
Hey, man, my wife she's the best. She understands and she knows that this is my passion, so she's 100%. I mean, she's 100% supportive. Obviously, wants me home and stuff like that. So
and
she
now
gets
that you
it.
have your baby girl too, man.
Beautiful baby girl.
Congratulations, by the way,
thank you, man. Changes your life. She's the best.
Yeah,
she's the best thing ever, and so.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, that's what we got going on here. There's going to be a ton of events, a ton of things going on, and so always looking to do something new. Always looking to kind of get out there with it, and get these kids better and help them in one way or another.
Okay, that's good, man. That's good. So with your experiences going through all, you went through basically you played baseball everywhere. You went through all levels of baseball, right?
Yeah, a bunch of places.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Even with with Alamany, Alamany plays like schools like Notre Dame and fucking Howard Westlake and all
that's our league. Yep,
that's your league, right? I mean, that right there is just advanced. And then through college D1 playing the fucking College World Series.
Yep.
How are you gonna prepare these kids for the business side of the baseball game too, though?
Oof. That's a tough one. That's a tough way. That's tough to prepare them.
Because you don't want to spoil it for them either, right? You don't want them to be like,
nope. That's the point. You got to. Our job is to still keep it fun. Yeah. Like, yes, it's be strict. Let's make sure they play hard. Let's make sure they focus. But at the end of the day, man, they gotta have fun.
And you gotta be able to be a ball player first to get in that situation, right? So
yeah, you have to be like we can't scare a kid off from like we gotta like we talk about like we come down on kids.
Yeah,
but it's always positive.
Yeah, like with my boy. Like the very first time I came here, I was recommended by Cesar Martinez, right? Who was UAG. He says, "Hey man, I got a real good hitting instructor."
Yeah.
Out of Silmar. I said, okay, we'll go check them out. First day we came in here, 5 pitches in, you're already on my boy's ass. Like, are you here to fucking hit or are you here to,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the guy right there. Yeah. That's what kids need. You know, kids need nowadays, right?
Yeah. And it's like I'm on him, but it's like, hey man, like I know you can hit. Yeah. But let's go. Like it's go time. I mean, we're not just here to swing. Right. Every swing's got to have an intent. You got to have a purpose behind it. Yes. And you got to be positive. Like that's what they. I will break them down. We'll talk to them. Make sure like, hey, you missed this, but hey, man, you can do it. Make sure you fix it the next one. Mm-hmm. Move on to the next one because baseball's a crazy negative game, man. You start thinking negative, it snowballs. You're in trouble.
Shit.
So we try and stay as positive as we can. Well, I shouldn't say we stay very positive.
Right.
We're constructive with our criticism with them because we have to be. Because there's a lot of coaches out there that just don't do that.
Go through the motions, huh?
Go through the motions, and we're not going to do that here.
That's good, man. Yeah. That's really good.
For sure.
Yeah. So, and then also, of course, you have your BH14 line that you want to.
Oh, we're getting out there. Yeah. These are like kind of prototypes. We're working on getting some gear, some like street gear out. And I don't know. I'm kind of always all over the place and doing different things and kind of see ideas and run with them. So, yeah, we're going to put out some like streetwear, not streetwear, but like casual leisure baseball stuff where. I mean, I like so.
Yeah.
I don't have the best style.
Well, I mean, like this, like, consistency breeds progress.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say it any more fucking plain. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. I mean, so it's just little phrases where I mean, there's a little more where, I mean, stuff I say, stuff we talk about, stuff I like, and so we'll do a little more of that. We'll get the store up and running here in a couple of weeks, and so people can buy that stuff and
that's good.
And do all that, and just I don't know, like I said, I'm all over the place, and I love it. So. It's
but congratulations to you, man. Blessings. I hope you expand more, like because like what you're teaching and the way you play the game and the way you approach it, you're bringing it with the kids, stuff like that, and that's what we need out here, right? Especially with the, like you said, with the Valley and trying to give back with the foundation and all that. That's something that I wish I would have had when I had a kid, because let's be real, a lot of talent is being wasted. That's because these kids aren't getting invested in, right?
Yep.
So
or they can't, they can't afford it, right? And then that's the for me that's what I want to do, man. I want to be able to like give these kids opportunities and just show them that it can be done.
It can be done.
Look at Miggy, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I mean, even me, like I maybe I didn't make it to the big leagues, but like man, I played in a lot of cool places, met a lot of cool people, played in Japan. Played in Venezuela, played in Mexico.
Wow!
Like I wouldn't change it for the world, man.
You mentioned Miggy. Miggy was a shortstop in high school.
Look at that.
And I didn't know. I mean, I didn't see him throwing fucking 90 in high school like that. And short 90. I don't know how fast was there. 96.
I think it was 96, but he pitched at like 92, 93.
Yeah. So that's when I saw him coming up as a pitcher. I'm like, Miggy, a pitcher, and like shit.
He's got that fresh arm, That's what they look for.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's another thing with we got to take care of the kids' arms, man. We got too many guys getting buried for plastic trophies.
The plastic trophies.
I
like
that.
I like
it. It's nobody cares about those trophies. The only ones that care about it are
the parents.
Not the parents or the programs that are trying to.
Because all that's not going to mean anything, right? They won fucking NCS fucking
PG. Like okay, like. It's not. But did the kids learn? Are you gonna pitch a kid 140 pitches?
No.
We're not gonna do that. Right. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. You're right. All right. Anything else you want to add, Brian?
No, man. Just thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure.
We'll look forward to doing it more often. But yeah, thank you for having me and just.
No, well, thank you for having me here, man. Shit. I want to do all my podcast here, man.
Hey, man, you're welcome. You're welcome here anytime. You can come by. We're giving lessons. We're here all night, so come check. You can pull up and kind of give your lessons. I mean, give your podcast as we're doing lessons.
And a quick mention. I'm actually using your video guy that you
He's
use
the best.
Instagram. Shout out to VSQZ Visuals.
Yes.
for letting me use the video here for this is basically my very first video fucking episode.
Man, you look good too.
Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. You had to get a wide angle lens, right?
Get out of here.
No, but I mean, I did one with Zoom before, but not as
Yeah, no, Jimmy, man, goes above and beyond. Does a great
Yes,
job with
he
the videos. He's the one that does all my Instagram videos and all that stuff, man. He's really taking the stuff to another level.
Yes,
He's
and
really-
I actually saw him doing the Filipino tournament that they had. I seen him out there, and he was getting it, man. He was on the field.
he's all over the place, man.
That was
Some of the
good, man.
angles, I'm like, dude, how'd you do that? And
Oh no,
he just-
she was on the field. I mean, while this guy's throwing a fucking beanie down here.
Hey, there's a couple times I'm like, Jimmy, you gotta kind of come over here.
Basically trying to get a play at first. He's trying to throw around Jimmy and shit. But hey, Jimmy
Hey,
got
but
the shot.
he gets those angles. I'll tell you
he gets
that.
those shots. But no, he's a really good job, and I want to thank you, man. I thank you for letting me. Because he's your the guy that you use for Instagram and all that, right? So
Yeah, he does all my work.
So speaking of that, how can somebody reach you? How can
So they can go in the DMs, or so we're gonna expand. We're doing a better job of Facebook, Twitter.
Okay.
Eventually go to TikTok. We have to nowadays. But Instagram is BH14 Baseball, and then our email is BH14baseball@gmail.com.
Okay.
And just well, we do a really good job with our Instagram. Instagram is probably our best way.
Yeah.
And then we have the BH14baseball.com, the website, where
Okay.
it has all our schedules, it has our availability, it has upcoming camps, up events, and then the team store will be up there as well here soon.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. We're good. So thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jimmy, of course, and always thank you, Wawa. Thank you, Pancho. Thank you, Gomez. We'll go ahead and talk to you soon. Peace out.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Streaker. Thank you, Streaker. Peace out.